CheekySport on Rinse.
Yeah, do you? All right, cool. We're talking about the Carter's album. But anyway, you're here with CheekySport, obviously on Rinse FM, podcast crazy, World Cup crazy. You're here with CheekySport Akeem. You're also here with...
Caramel Chris is still here, a.k.a. Mr. Heritage.
Of course, and we have a special guest, a very special guest, United stands.
Another United.
Superman.
What's happening, man?
Flex.
Yes.
Flexington.
What's happening?
I got the nod, man. Gaffer gave me the nod.
Yeah, Gaffer gave you the nod.
Jose, innit?
That's it. That's it. Big J's out of here, yeah?
Where
like
is
I
Big
said,
J? Where is Big J?
And Ron Burgundy once again in this team, yeah? Once again. All right, cool. I'm anchoring. So, obviously, we're going to take a few topics. Obviously, it's World Cup season. Yeah, man. We're not talking about other teams. Funny enough, we are going to bring up Arsenal, and we are going to bring up Man United, and we are going to bring up some Premier League clubs.
Oh,
but, obviously, the main topics are going to be about the World Cup, yeah? So, we're obviously going to kick off with pretty much, I think, the biggest topic of, I think, the last week. Obviously, just as an overview, we're going to go over the World Cup anyway. And the truth is, I don't think any team has really stood out so far in the World Cup. But we're going to go on a debate that people seem to want to talk about for the age and for the next 5 years and 10 years and 20 years. And that is, who is greater out of Ronaldo and Messi?
No-brainer.
Yeah?
It's a no-brainer.
And the fact you're saying no-brainer is dumb. That's already dumb.
I just hope it's in the right way.
Yeah. So wait, hold on.
I know where you two are going.
Hold on a second.
So it's not... Okay,
all
all right.
cool. So let's start with Flex, yeah?
Yeah.
Who is better? Let's just be real.
Forget United bias, all of that jazz. No, because I know that's what you're gonna go. That's what you're gonna say. That's what you're gonna say. That's what you're gonna say.
We know who he's gonna choose.
Do you know what it is? Do you know where I actually stand on this? And this is not just United bias. If I was to pick one man that I wanted on my team at all times, through thick, through thin, rain, sleet, hell, snow, I'm going with Ronnie. And I'll tell you why, because I just feel like he thrives off the pressure. Like, there's certain times where I've just seen Messi like just buckle. Like, he's an amazing player. He's smashing records as well, and they're both smashing records. But for me, if I was to choose one to have in my side, I'm not disrespecting Messi or not understanding how great he is. They are both great players, and in a sense, it's almost like, why do we have to have a best? But because you're asking me who's my best and who would I have, I would choose Cristiano. All
right, Flex. Obviously, I'm gonna pass the baton on to Chris in a second, but I just want to make it very clear because a lot of criticism has been to Messi and people laughing, obviously, because he missed the penalty.
And I'm not jumping on that just because of that.
And I just want to make it clear, even without talking from the obvious fact of it's one game, people need to remember that Ronaldo didn't do anything against Iceland a couple of years ago. People forget about that. He didn't do nothing. At all. So maybe I don't know if Iceland's just really good at nullifying the greatest players of all time, of them of all teams, but he didn't do anything in that game either. And to be honest, there's been a lot of games he hasn't shown up, even when Real Madrid or Portugal have won.
There's been better things.
But I do get your opinions.
I just think when it comes down to it, I think there's something about Ronaldo that some people might say he's arrogant and not a team player, but I think he thrives off greatness, and he just...
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie, because every single time I've seen a Portugal or Real Madrid, obviously, I bet
it's like two different Ronaldos.
I know, but I know someone's going to quote me different on this, but every time I've seen Real Madrid score or Portugal score, why is he never in the shot of hugging, man? You know, like when the goal's gone in. Why is he never ever
He has
there?
got arrogance about him.
I've never seen him hug. Like all three of those goals who went in.
Yes, about him. He does his wicked thing. You know why?
Why was he never hugging Bale though? At any point, I never saw him run over.
Jealousy.
He's not jealous of what? He's better than Bale.
Envy's coming from my enemy. That's too petty.
I just think there is this bit of like, do you know what? It's like, why are you asking me to choose between like Beyonce and J-Lo? Like, they're both not like why?
What? You can't compare them two.
No, it depends what you like.
No,
it depends what you like.
No.
It depends what you like.
Mate.
It depends what you like.
J-Lo's not the same level.
What I'm saying is, if you got two tens,
that's like Woody and Buzz, isn't it?
Huh?
It's not that deep.
Not really. Because Buzz Lightyear is a bit better than Woody.
As in, why you got to choose between them? Or are you saying one's definitely better? And that's Buzz.
It's hard to choose between Buzz and Woody.
Nah, do you know what it's like? Is that Ren and Stimpy? Ren and Stimpy.
I like who was the little...
Or Chucky and
He's like, where you going?
Alright, anyway, look, let's move on. Alright, Chris, what's your thoughts? Who is the better player?
Well, my boy Lionel Messi, 34 goals this season.
Look at him, he's trying to get
he's doing this.
Look at him.
Goals per minute, 88. 12 assists. He's the top of every list, by the way. I'm just letting you know that.
Read the Champions League list.
Best average rating. We don't care. Best
Read that
average
one.
rating,
Selected
best
stats.
average rating is shots on target per match, though, goes to Ronaldo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Yeah, that's why he's giving that stat though, because it don't mean nothing.
Most successful dribbles per game is Messi.
But you got to realise that Messi doesn't play centre forward though. He don't play
Big
centre
chances
forward.
created, Messi.
Yeah.
Is everything. And
Are you going on just this season or
no,
forever?
I can go forever. Because
You're going forever?
Okay, but that's a different question.
That's this season, but there's other things in there that can back it up. But what I'm gonna say is that Messi, for me, like Ronaldo, unbelievable, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
what
because
he
they're
done-
both unbelievable.
What he done to
Yeah.
get there, because he wasn't great from the beginning. Messi's been great from day one.
I do believe that.
it's
I
not
think
saying great from
Messi's
day
got
one.
more
Messi's
natural
been
talent,
sick
and I
from day
believe that Ronaldo's had to work
Ronaldo's
harder.
a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah.
As Wenger said, Ronaldo's a machine.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
And Messi is an artist.
Yeah.
And you can see like even this season, like his performance hasn't dropped one bit. Ronaldo's had to adapt his game. Messi
as
hasn't
it goes
adapted
on.
nothing.
But the question-
people are trying to adapt to Messi, mate.
No, but the question is then, all right, he's
Messi's
a better
better.
player.
He's a better player.
But if you were a manager, who would you
I think that's the
Messi.
question you really need to ask,
Picking
because
Messi.
it's always going to be subjective over who's better, because they're both smashing absolute records. They're both doing bits. They're both technically the best. But the question, I think, more so has to be, who would you rather have?
I'd rather have Messi.
Yeah.
but the thing is, you
And it depends what you look for.
only
Like,
choose-
who'd you
but you
rather
only choose Ronaldo though because
Not because of the Man
No,
United.
no,
situation.
I'm not saying about the Man United thing.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
It's not that.
I'm
It's
not
not
saying
that.
that.
It's
Hold
not
on,
that.
hold on.
It's not that.
Let me ask you a question. Roy Keane or Patrick Vieira?
But Roy Keane, that's just clear.
For me,
Did you
for
know
me,
why?
Roy Keane.
No, do you know what? No,
Roy
do you know-
Keane.
no, do you know why I choose
Roy
Roy Keane?
Keane.
Hold on. Do you know why I choose Roy Keane?
Want to pick on someone? Come pick on me.
Exactly.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Nah, that's why.
But the reason is, my man even gave stuff like Phil Neville will slap himself.
You know what I'm saying? Man come out and see, well, we got players here that they're not good enough.
Yeah.
At the end of the Champions League,
got
when we're
sacked
out.
after, though.
You know what I'm saying?
2 years later, they
All right,
sacked
okay,
him.
just says it as it is, man. Man like Roy.
Plus Vieira makes critical errors like he did in 1999 semi-final. Never. Rule number 1: never pass the ball across goal, mate. Never pass the ball.
Vieira.
Never pass the ball across.
Roy Keane's a 5-star general bad man. I don't
No, but
care.
Vieira's a bad man.
Vieira's better.
But come on. Anyway, that's like
Messi.
that bias is like the logic of saying who did you prefer, Perez or Giggs?
I've done it already. And you know what? I've done 100. Oh my God, me and my guy, Burke Acker, done this year. We done this about 4 years ago. We done
I know where
100
he's gonna
listen,
go.
we done 100 people test, yeah? He's a man.
No, I want you to
He's
know.
like you. Yeah? He's just like you. We done 100 people test, yeah? We done it on Twitter. I was getting some journalists come back. These times I was nothing, innit? I'm still nothing there, by the way, but I was like 200 people watching, man. It's like, that's a bit more.
Believe you're something.
Believe
Don't
it.
undersell
Now-
yourself.
now-
100.
Now it's something, isn't it? But anyway, some journalists were like, for all that Giggs is brilliant. He's like, I'm gonna have to go with Perez.
So who would you go?
Why?
with?
What was his reasoning
hold
for
on.
that?
Because I said on their day, who would you rather have on
What,
their
Giggs
day?
twisting up, man,
What?
jinking left, right,
You mad,
sitting
innit?
Keown on his
But
ass?
Patrick Vieira, what Robert Perez ducking the ball over Boateng, and
What,
he
invent-
sees
Oh,
Peter Schmeichel.
man.
He sees Peter Schmeichel, the greatest goalkeeper in the Premiership history.
Giggs done it over 20 years.
Greatest goalkeeper in the Premiership history.
Bro, Perez.
He was on his line.
Chris.
Come on, man.
Chris.
On
But
his
Ian Wright
line.
didn't score against Peter Schmeichel. Does that mean Ian Wright was rubbish? No.
No, he never scored.
Is that a stat? Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah, he never scored against Peter Schmeichel.
But-
But Ian Wright's wicked.
But
So-
Perez invented diving. So
Yeah, he was the king of leaving his foot and dropping.
What, before
100%.
Jurgen
he
Klinsmann,
mastered.
He was the king of
Yeah.
that,
Before
man.
Jurgen Klinsmann.
Yeah.
He was the
At
king
his
of that.
prime.
Klinsmann used to celebrate diving.
He used to just do his forward dive. Leave Klinsmann.
Why
he was
is he
all right.
forward dive for?
But Perez, yeah, he was the art of that.
Bro, he's the reason why.
Little flat-footed penguin just running.
He's the
Nah,
reason.
man.
He's
But
the
he was
reason.
wicked.
Yeah, you don't know.
Now Perez was a baller.
Chris,
But
he's
not
the
over
reason
Ryan
why
Giggs. Over
Ryan Giggs.
why this is football had that feature of diving.
No.
He is.
No.
This is football. For
Oh
anyone
yeah,
who
he used to
knows
press
football.
R2.
Yeah. Press R2.
R2 and L2 aside, you can dive.
But
Yeah.
who played this is football?
I played that.
You played it.
I
innit?
played that. It wasn't my main game.
Hold on,
but I had it.
there was Pro Evo.
Yeah, Pro Evo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or ISS, whatever it was called.
Yeah, Pro Evo was the best for a
and
bit.
FIFA was dead for a while.
Yeah.
And you know what was paying? I remember
Yeah,
getting
bro,
this
you
football.
got
I both. I both.
I remember getting on
I
demo.
remember a game called Free Lions.
Yeah, Free
You had
Lions.
to get the target to move the goal. Come on, man.
man.
Bro, who
No,
remembers
no.
football, you just play
who
with the platforms.
remembers even
Actual
the
soccer?
management? LMA manager.
Oh, LMA. Oh,
Dead.
God. Championship manager was me.
Championship
though.
manager.
I never
Yeah.
touched that game because there was Championship Manager.
Yeah,
Why am I
Champ Man
touching
was
some-
wicked.
innit?
You gotta try it all.
Why am I touching some?
Oh, a pen.
Oh, it's a penalty.
Is that a pen to Tunisia?
It's a penalty to Tunisia.
Oh.
By the way, we're
I
watching
bet it's
this
Harry
live.
Maguire. I bet it's Harry Maguire who brought him down.
We're watching this live, obviously.
Oh my God.
As you can tell, it's a Monday evening.
Who's-
And it is a
Oh
penalty.
no, it's a foul for England.
Is that Walker?
I know it's not. Is it a penalty? It might be VAR.
VAR.
Which, funny enough, we're going to be
We're gonna
talking
be,
about
yeah.
soon.
Oh, so it's pen for
It is a
England.
penalty then.
Well,
Or
who
it
is
not?
that? Who's that? Is that Link? Who's that?
Who is that?
It's like Trippier.
Is that Trippier?
Is that
It's
Walker?
not. It's Walker. Is it? Who is that? Rose?
Brother,
Rose
does that look
ain't
like
playing.
Rose to you?
No. I was... Yeah, you're right. So who actually committed the foul? Then?
I think that was Walker.
By the way, I didn't
Yeah,
even
it's
know
Walker,
the lineups. Okay, cool. It's
What's he done? He's fling his arm in
I'm an
the...
idiot. Man's looking at the white.
Exactly.
He's like, no, that skin colour. I thought you're dead certain it's not Rose.
I was thinking,
He's an
yeah,
England player. He could have been there.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking,
the white
it's not that
kit still.
stupid
Man's
to say
looking at
that.
his white kit. I'm thinking that's not.
Yeah,
So,
no
look
way.
at- bro, that wasn't a foul. That
He
is
looked like he
joke.
just flung his arm back. England.
Hendo's gonna do some. Who is actually in goal? Buckland.
Pickford, man.
Man said
Pickford,
Buckland.
Pickford's number
Man
one,
said-
bro.
I just said Buckland.
Pickford.
Buckland. Huh? Is it Pickford?
Yeah, Pickford, yeah.
All right, cool. So while this is it. Hold on.
There's a penalty arising, people.
Who just walked off the pitch? No one.
Carl Walker just got yellow card.
Okay.
Busy him, Carl.
Oh, my days.
So I think he's gonna go bottom left.
I think he's
Shut
gonna
up,
I think he's gonna miss the target. I think he's gonna miss the whole
He's gonna go bottom
target.
left. He ain't gonna miss the
I
target.
think he missed target.
He's on Tunisia's
Look
end
at
as
this
well.
woman praying. She's like praying,
Praying
please.
to the gods.
He looks like Emre Can.
Right, he's praying as well.
An older one. He looks
Yeah.
like Emre Can when he's 38 or something. All right,
Come
look.
on, Pickford, man.
Go on.
All the man that said you shouldn't be number one. Show them now, right now. Step up.
We
We got
It's looking
producers
sad.
behind the
The number
camera
one's
biting their
looking sad.
nails.
This is Pickford's moment.
Nervous.
This is where he cements the number one jersey.
I think he's gonna go bottom left. It's bait.
I know what happens.
It's not bait. If it happens,
Maybe
it happens.
he does an L1 square and just chips it.
Nah, bro. L1 square. No one does that for penalties. Yeah, told you. Bottom left.
Unlucky.
Didn't I tell you bottom left?
Yeah,
We would have cut that out if that didn't happen, but it did. Bottom left.
Pickford was close. That was a good
Pickford.
pen. That was a good
You should
pen.
know he was gonna go bottom left.
But he went there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
there.
saying. He did.
man.
Yeah, he was
All right,
close.
cool.
Yeah.
So moving on. Okay, and funny enough, obviously, it is international season, and we're still arguing Messi or Ronaldo. Obviously, the reality is with them is that they're just as good. I think it's a blessing that they're both in this era. One thing I will say, like
the weakest era, though.
No,
There's no players that are close to them two.
no, he can't say it's the weakest era though.
Well, if you,
No, you got.
you know what?
Ronaldo,
You got to
Zidane,
think. You got, yeah,
Henry,
yeah.
Shevchenko.
I think there was, you know what it is? Apart from
on,
those two
Ronaldinho.
players,
Everyone
apart
else.
from those two, there's no one even close to
Yeah,
them.
'cause
two.
I think-
Whereas in past generations,
There was
like the
Ronald-
names you just...
Ronaldinho, Zidane, Henry.
Why is he touching me so much?
Because you're not listening.
There were ballers. I think there was a...
Van
There was
Nistelrooy.
a
Van Nistelrooy.
Shevchenko, no, Rudy Poo was not the guy.
he went on R9's levels.
He weren't on them levels now.
Exactly.
But okay, look, the truth is though, you're saying that, but in reality, one thing that I always get is, and I don't mean for this to come across in the wrong way at all, but same with rap music, yeah. Biggie and Pac can't always be the greatest of all time just because they're dead. I'm being
Whoa,
real.
whoa,
No, let me be
whoa,
real.
whoa,
No,
whoa.
hold on. Just because, hold on. Just because they're dead.
Right,
Yes,
right.
I appreciate them, and they are one of the greatest of all time.
They're dead.
But you
Hold
can't.
on,
Hold
hold
on.
on.
No, I want to see ways. Let me just see that angle.
Let me finish.
I just want to see that angle because if you can redeem it and bring it back.
By the way, it's because he loves Tupac. That's why. But
Okay.
my point is,
I'm a Biggie man.
Yeah,
But-
my point is,
Another no-brainer.
hold on. My point is, you can't just because you're dead, yeah. Just because they passed away, rest in peace. Obviously, it doesn't mean they never ever get surpassed. Sooner or later, someone passes.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that why is it a thing like just because someone is the greatest
You
of
get
all time,
instant thing.
you can't be beaten? The truth is, same goes to Pele and Maradona. Them man were great, but these man are better. It's just a reality.
Whoa.
Ronaldo and Messi are just better than them.
Listen.
Are you saying that because of the modern day?
No,
player?
I'm just saying. I'm
Listen
saying.
to me.
Look, I'm just saying. Based on stats, consistency.
No, you can't base it-
level.
No.
Bro.
Because they played in
If you're
different
based on
generations.
stats, if
man.
you're based on stats, then Pele is the best.
50.
Then Pele is
He's
the
scored
best.
the most.
No,
in
wait,
the
hold
team,
on.
innit? Has he still not surpassed?
Chris,
none of them have still
Chris. I'm gonna
surpassed
say
Pele.
one point, then you man can give you guys
Yeah.
give your opinion honestly, because I'm just saying it. I'm not saying I'm right.
Yeah.
It's my opinion.
Yeah.
Salah's scored what 39 goals this season.
Yeah.
Do you know what even Klopp said? You know this. Klopp said he only has to do it another 15 years to be on Ronaldo's and Messi's level.
course.
15
Yeah, that's loads.
years
He's never
these
gonna
men
do
have
that.
done this.
He's never gonna do that.
50. Just to put in perspective.
Yeah, but
15
Salah's not in the
years.
same breath as.
No,
as
I know.
Oh,
but
but that's
point
why
is,
you're saying.
My point is just the level. People need to remember the levels. Pele
Ronaldo-
banged out on the World Cup. He
Ronaldo-
banged out on the World Cup. Don't get twisted.
Ronaldo hasn't done it for 15 years. He's done it for 10.
No, but 15. What I'm trying to say is 15 years.
2008
of all
almost.
Well, 2005.
2000.
He was still doing 2006. He was doing
His
big.
best season was his last one for us, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, like 2008,
That was his
2009,
best,
yeah.
and that was one of our.
But you know,
amazing
you get
periods
my
in the
point.
World League. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
My point is, look,
Yeah.
Pele has done bits obviously every 4 years for Brazil, great, and also obviously for his club, he scored over 1,000 goals.
Well, shut
I
up
think
then.
only
Yeah.
Romario.
Spazzico, you
I
can't
think-
really-
I-
Shut up
then.
I think only Romario and one other player has ever done
But then the
1,000
proof's,
goals.
the proof's in that
Yeah,
middle
that's what I'm
there.
saying.
But,
Yeah.
same with Maradona.
Yeah.
You know what Maradona's like? Maradona is like some of not just even artists, but some footballers who had great, because people don't realize Maradona's career. He had great 2-3 year pockets, and then he went missing for a year, whether it's suspension, whether it was drugs. My man wasn't consistent. No, it's a fact. My man wasn't consistent for 15 years.
Hold on, I'm not.
Do you get what I mean?
I'm not calling that era the greatest. Though.
Okay.
My opinion, the greatest era is the era that we grew up in. I think when there was your Shevchenko's, your Ronaldo's, your Rivaldo's.
Bang that! Oh my God! Who checked that shot? Henderson.
Henderson.
Dead.
I'm saying dead. You're trying to tell me people like Henderson would have made it 10 years ago?
No way.
I
We're
agree.
talking crap.
I agree.
Sorry, we're talking wet. Sorry, Ash, can you bleep that out? Crap bit. Sorry, thanks.
He's being extra.
Don't I say that word?
Yeah,
No,
you
I can say crap.
No, you can't.
He's being extra.
But you know what I'm saying though? Players like that would never be top players. Henderson wouldn't have been paid for Liverpool
way.
10 years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
No way.
Come on, man.
But my point
The
is,
standard of football's dropped a little.
the standard.
That's why
Look,
they-
100.
There's only two
Average
stars.
players can
There's
get
two
in
great
good
stars.
teams.
Yeah, there's two great stars, and that's Messi and Ronaldo. The rest,
There's no one close to that level.
there's never Steven
There's
Gerrard.
another whole bracket other than them two.
I think the only players that stand out for me, and
Maybe Neymar is like the next one.
Neymar does,
And that's not even.
He's hype.
And it's not even.
He's
like,
gas.
you know what I mean? He's
Neymar
just
is
probably the
absolute
next
gas.
best.
But I'll be honest, some certain players like Aguero and Hazard deserves a mention.
Yeah.
Because Hazard,
Aguero's been doing it for time
Hazard
as
at
well.
his best can live in that era. He could play in that. No, Hazard in his prime, in his best.
Yeah.
He could have been in the Real Madrid team.
But his consistency as well.
Hazard's 27. We should be seeing his best now.
Yeah,
He's in his prime.
We might see it.
Do you know what? Do you know what else it goes into though? Then it
what I
goes
mean?
into the question of how do you define world class?
Yeah, that's another question. That is the
What do you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's
Because
opinion, it's
some,
about what you see, innit?
yeah, because it depends what you look for.
We're
in
gonna
world class.
move on to that in a second, actually, when we talk about international and domestic
Yes,
football. But
yes.
I just wanted to round up. Do you man disagree then in the fact that I know this is definitely a weaker era. I have to agree with that. What Chris is saying,
100%.
But do you agree with the idea that Maradona and Pele can't always be the great. They can't forever be the great.
Someone has to beat their records.
What more does Messi and Ronaldo have to do to
score over
be-
1,000 goals.
Is that really a marker though? Is that the marker? Look at
scored
Messi.
it.
Look at Messi and Ronaldo's done in cup finals.
But for me, my greatest players would be Zidane, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo.
It's not our era, innit? We went
Yeah,
around them
true.
to really study.
Messi and Ronaldo. I'd stick them with them. Look,
Yeah.
and maybe Henry. Maybe I'll stick Henry in there.
It is difficult because we, obviously, our ages, all we have is YouTube to really decipher man
Yeah,
like Pele
exactly.
and,
You're right.
and look
You're
at
right.
and
That's
look
true.
at Wikipedia
That's
or
true.
whatever you're going to look at to get numbers and think, right, he did all this. That's
true.
But really, the old school man, them, I've spoken to old school man and go, no, I've seen
my dad
Pele,
would
mate,
say that of
my own
prime.
eyes.
Like, yeah.
Nothing comes close. Do you know what I'm saying?
But
And that's,
I always see.
But you've got to realise though that football's modern now, isn't it?
yeah, they got nice pitches, they're looked after, the technology with the
Everything
dieting
about
and stuff.
them, yeah.
These man, like look at Georgie Best and them, man, were going down the pub and just
And coming
swinging
out and
and coming out and
smashing it.
playing wicked. So
And
when we-
not just that, the tackles were heavy.
exactly.
Bro. They were heavy
playing on
tackles.
boggy pitches, soggy thick, playing in the snow and ice and.
But
It's just
You know what I mean?
it's just like boxing or whatever. Like you had
Yeah.
Ali, you got Tyson.
How do you really
That's where it did
decide?
stop, though,
But
isn't it?
I always think,
Yeah.
I always think,
Yeah.
Messi, to be honest, Messi comes out like some Maradona regen.
No, 'cause he's amazing.
He's like a regen. You know what I'm
amazing.
saying?
He is
He
wicked.
plays
amazing.
so similar to him.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
that was his
you know,
idol, wasn't it?
It was.
The
yeah,
thing
yeah.
with Messi is, I
That's
think,
it.
as well, just before you move on, yeah. Although I've gone for Ronaldo, I can. There's no right or wrong. It's to a certain extent, but he is easier on the eye in terms of his technique, the way
his
he
physique
glides
as well, though,
across.
people.
He's very small. He's very nimble. he can change.
yeah.
Whereas Ronaldo, it's like if you prefer that whole ripped athlete, big, strong, header,
but-
boom, then you're gonna go for that. If you prefer that whole,
but it's
and I
not
love
just-
the
it's not
intricate
just
thing. I
that,
love
though.
the intelligence of Messi, finding space where there's no space, bringing other players into play.
on.
The whole that's his strengths. You get that. But for me, I warm more to Ronaldo because
All
I
right,
like that
here's
directness.
a final question,
Yes.
just to ask both of you.
Yes.
One answer, just before we
Just
move
yes
on.
or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were defenders,
Yes.
who would you be more scared of?
Messi.
At their prime, by the
Ronaldo
way.
would be my pocket.
At their prime, by the way.
I'll
'Cause it's
have-
not fair
I'll
to
have-
say that
I'll
because
have
Ronaldo's
Ronaldo. No.
declining more now. Yeah. So who at their prime would you be
That's a
more
different
scared
question.
Messi. 100.
What, him running at you?
I'd have Ronaldo here.
I've seen him.
of? Look at this guy. You have Ronaldo and him.
I'm an athlete. You get me?
What? So you'll be able to keep up with Ronaldo?
I'll chase him.
You know what? I'd be more scared of Ronaldo. Do you know why? Because you see Ronaldo. He could do things where I've got him, half a yard, bang, goal. Now I'm not saying Messi can't do that, but for me, Ronaldo is more like he's just direct. I've got him. Man could just leap over.
But
goal.
Messi could be 8 man though.
Free kicks, bam.
Messi could
Yeah,
be
he
8 man
can.
in his prime. In his prime, he's been 8
But
man.
for me, I would be more scared of Ronaldo.
Did you see what Messi
Fair
did to
enough.
Arsenal?
See what Messi
And
does
Man
to
United.
Boateng.
And Man
You seen
United.
him to Manchester United?
Twice.
on, man.
But anyway, moving on. Okay, so obviously we just want to quickly swiftly move on to this talk about international and domestic football. And ultimately, like what really brings legacy, yeah?
It's the league.
Because obviously we've been talking about obviously winning World Cups and that, and winning Euros, whatever you call European Championships.
Yeah.
Like, do you really feel it's a situation that if you had to put your legacy down, if you were a footballer, would you prefer to win the World Cup / Euros or the League / Champions League? What actually matters more in the game?
Yeah.
What matters more?
It would be League / Champions League.
Why?
Because that's...
But to be honest, with
You're in.
Ooh,
Yes.
it's got to be.
Oh, he's in the post. Who's that?
not go in?
Sterling.
That was defending.
Oh, it's Jay Lings.
That was crazy
That's what I'm
defending.
saying, man, like Jay Lings.
Oh, he's done bits this season, man.
Nah, geezer, you can't say that.
He's done bits this season.
Been one of the best players. Been one of the best players in the country. One of the best players in the country.
That's what I'm saying. The standard's so low right now.
He's not. He's a young baller. He's a young
Yeah,
baller.
this is all we have. I do agree with it.
He's
People
25.
say, oh, Southgate's gone with all these young ballers. Well, all the experienced men are actually done.
Wait,
That's
hold
all
on.
he has
We're just
there.
trying to see if he's going to cross the line.
And then he left his most talented behind.
Sorry, watching this live. I know it sounds probably dumb now
Yeah, Jay Lings.
to when you're watching it.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. But okay, so
average player.
Back to your thing. Yeah. For me, I think it's all about consistency and doing it over a 38-game period as opposed to how long is it if you, how many games is it? 12 if you win every single one. I think. Look, if you look at someone like Miroslav Klose, yeah, wicked in the World Cups, bags, gets golden boot, all of that jazz. From club level, we didn't really heard of him. So that's proof that you can do it at that level, but it doesn't mean you're the best.
But to be honest,
Davos Croatia, wicked.
Davos Suka, yeah.
Same thing, but
the thing is, a lot of German players though, even now, some of the guys they're relying on, Timo Werner, all of these players, they're not banging out for a top team every
and there
week.
you go. I think if you can do it consistently in a league, Champions League. It's for me. I think that's the epitome.
The league is your pinnacle.
Yeah, I think that's what you got to base your
So on that logic, then, do you think that certain, and this is just I'm just saying this. Do you think then certain English players or players in the Premier League should be heralded more than they are then?
Why?
Because certain players like Alan Shearer banged out.
But won no trophies though.
No, it's not back. No. Trophies.
One Premier League title.
No, trophies weren't what we were talking about though. To be fair, we're talking about bro. He topped the scoring charts for 5 out of 7 years in a row.
Everyone knows Alan Shearer was a
Alan Shearer's a wicked.
I know, but I'm just saying.
And he gets the plaudits anyway.
I was going to say, what, do you think he doesn't get enough ratings?
He's the greatest goal scorer.
I think people need to remember that he's about people are still at least 50 goals behind him.
Yeah, Alan Shearer's a bad boy. But Kane will pass him though.
If he stays.
Kane will pass him.
If he stays.
Yeah, if he stays, yeah.
But anyway, it wasn't just him that I was talking about. I was talking about, look, there's a lot of like cult heroes in the Premier League.
Yeah,
like
Shearer's not a cult.
Bro, remember Mark Viduka was wicked?
Yeah,
he's the best.
Man, like,
You know what I mean, bro? Bare players like that. You remember
Jimmy
Kevin
Floyd.
Phillips getting flipping.
That one season.
Where he battered it up at
That boy. 29 goals.
There's been bare man like that.
That boy.
Loads.
Okay.
Hasselbank was
Actually,
wicked.
Kevin Phillips was decent striker.
Wicked.
He was just old, innit?
Okay, so my question.
So 100%. If you know your football and you know your Premier League football, you won't get caught up in that. Oh, the only people who were ever good in this thing were Henry and Van Nistelrooy or Rooney or
Henry was
whatever.
the best, by the way, in the Premiership. I'm just letting everyone know that.
All right, debatable, but I see what you mean,
He's the best, and then
who?
Eric Cantona. Eric Cantona.
Well, it depends. That's why it depends on a lot
Ronaldo
of
was
factors.
second. I'll give Ronaldo maybe. Ronaldo. He had two.
No.
He had two great.
But then look at the sheer number of goals that Alan Shearer just scored. Van Nistelrooy was wicked.
Rooney's up there.
Andy Cole was wicked.
But he is.
Rooney's record goal scorer for Man United.
No, he's a record goal.
Yeah, but you see that record though? It feels like an anticlimax.
How?
Why?
Bro, he's 31 years old.
Why?
He's a top goal
when
scorer.
Henry was that top goal scorer for Arsenal, or when Ian Wright done it, and these men were still
This guy
banging
is so
goals,
silly.
and they done it in like 6 seasons. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Ronaldo, like Rooney done it in 10 seasons.
Yeah, but
It's
he's
mad, bro. He's done it.
He's
Done it.
and he never really got like 20 plus goals in a season.
He didn't do that a lot. He didn't do that a lot.
He didn't do it ever. League
didn't
goals.
do it a lot.
How many
he done it
goals?
once.
Done it once.
Once.
Like 25 goals.
And to be honest, there was second.
But you got to remember, Rooney
second.
wasn't always just a striker.
No,
he wasn't always that.
rubbish.
Man would shift out to the left, to the right, number 10.
That's rubbish.
No, that's what he was. He
No.
wasn't a straight out number 9.
No, because Fergie ruined him for that. Because Fergie wanted Ronaldo to have the free range.
But it worked for us. That was why Fergie was an amazing manager, because he realised where to put the man.
I see that's where Wenger and him differ, because Wenger would have done it for Wazza. He'd have thought about Waz's career.
When it's all said and done, you'll realise how good he was.
Man won the league with people like Cleverley and Anderson because he oozes the best out of average man.
And Evans, which was good.
But you got to also remember that he was also like some Godfather figure in the Premiership.
Cult hero.
No, not cult hero. He was doing mad moves that.
All right, booging all the referees.
Okay,
come on, it. You just had Wenger's number for years.
But moving on on this point, just to be clear. So the thing is then, because we're looking at the World Cup, and my point why I asked you that question was obviously a lot of, for example, Arsenal players, and I'm not just saying this. Arsenal players have got stick already from a lot of Arsenal fans saying Ozil's played really badly, Lichtsteiner doesn't look great. And people are criticising and saying, look, if certain players don't have a good World Cup, they shouldn't, And I'm thinking, are you separating the World Cup form from when it gets back to the team coming in September or August? Does it have any factor? Does this have any bearing in these matches on your World Cup form? On your Premier League form. So do you care like how good Young plays, how good Jones plays? How good Lingard plays.
To a certain extent, you don't want to see them man playing absolutely dead, like because you know what they're capable of, or you know what the levels that they can reach.
It might have a knock-on effect for next season.
But to a certain extent, it's kind of like, well, when they come back to club football, they're playing with all these foreigners, and there's an argument that's why English teams are so dead. Is that
that's wrong.
They're playing with such world-class foreigners half the time that sometimes that we don't even recognise their potential. They don't even recognise their potential.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong because before the foreigners were there. We've still done nothing, as a nation.
Apart from 66, that's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Big up 1966. And obviously 2018 when they might win the World Cup. All right. So obviously we're going to move on to VAR briefly. So VAR is obviously something that has split opinion. I think even today in this game, pretty much every day in the World Cup so far, there has been VAR debates. Yeah. Like, was it a foul? Was it not? Was it handball? Was it not? And really, I want to ask you guys' opinion on firstly what you think of VAR. Do you genuinely think it should stay in the game? I think Premier League's confirmed it. They're not going to use it.
Oh, is
but
it? I thought they said
definitely. I thought they were going to try it.
No, I think they're going to trial it again. But I think they've not. Sorry, they've confirmed it. They've confirmed it is not. They've basically confirmed that it's not 100% going to stay forever. I think that's what the situation
is. Though, VAR isn't that bad though. That's the thing. It can work.
But what I want to ask is, do you see any downsides in VAR? Because I don't.
Well, at the moment, the downsides.
You don't see no downsides?
No. When I mean downside, I mean where is the negative really? Apart from it slows the game down.
The negative for me is that this is what I think. Yeah, it can work, but it needs fine tuning massively, and I think we need to look at other sports to maybe get that. If you look at tennis, right, they got 3 calls.
Not that.
No, because you know what's happening. Do you know what I see is happening? Players are questioning every single little thing and trying to slow the game down and getting the ref getting in his head. So it's either we go down. You got 3 calls, brother. Once you use your 3 calls, don't talk to me. Like it's done.
But you know the problem.
Because then we get that. Then we get that. The talking balance, point with football, like that ambiguity. Like we didn't really know. Sometimes that's been part of football for a long time. Or you say to the ref, like you see how cricket is, where he's not sure, so the ref will go, I need to see. Let the ref do it.
Shall I tell you the one problem with that?
Right now, it's just crazy. Isco was running to him when he thought the ball's over, like saying VAR, but we've got goal line technology.
By the way, that's the VAR side.
In his head so much.
That's the VAR side.
That's the VAR side.
Is there goal line technology?
There's goal line technology in the thing. So Isco's the VAR thing is in these players' heads so much that even whether the ball's over the line, man's running and go, please VAR, because all the players are looking for is that. And then there's a third thing, which is that it's still subjective. Because you still got man who are looking. You see the France penalty now.
Yeah.
Now who they play again? Who did France play? Australia.
Yeah.
The Australian player.
It was a pen though. It was a pen.
But then this is what VAR is there to define those moments that maybe the naked eye can't see.
Which was that moment.
Yeah. So if you're saying that VAR is there to get the thing 100% correct, to the letter of the law, that Australian player slightly touched that ball before he took Griezmann down. When I'm saying slightly, I mean slightly. Referee couldn't see it. If you've got 9 different angles and you can see that he done it, to the letter of the law...
Yeah, but when we saw the VAR...
But that's what I'm saying. It was subjective. They were like, nah, it's a penalty.
That's not a touchdown. That's not...
No, man.
Can I ask you a question though? You touched on, this tennis situation. But don't you think the tennis situation will be a problem? Because the difference is in tennis, it's just me one who makes the
No,
decision.
the manager can
But the
set
problem is-
the coach there. He can see.
the manager does it.
Oh, if he sees his players, he knows his players. If they all go
Okay,
running
so-
over to the boss and say, "Boss, nah, use the credit.
Yeah.
Use the credit, you know. My
Use the
man's going
credit.
on like he's an arcade.
Use the
It's true.
Use the credit.
Yeah, use that token.
And then it's
Like
and then once you've had your 3 calls, it's fair game for everyone.
Like
you
his
shouldn't,
Nam- like his
you shouldn't
Namco-
have used
like
it
his
willy-nilly
Namco
at the
game.
beginning, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But okay, I get that. But then it comes into all of that situation where like how much time? Because obviously the game moves so quick, so the manager has to look and basically call.
Bruv, it's 2018. You just have a button and it just vibrates on the guys on the referee's wrist.
Yeah.
Boom. Oh,
Right? It's too much tech after that, though, isn't it?
Oh,
Too
I thought you just
tech.
press it.
They should actually
they
have the
stop.
ref, someone watching the VAR anyway, watching the game anyway.
Yeah.
And if something does pop off, he should say
You
something.
should say.
But you know the problem.
It couldn't work. It just needs to be fine-tuned.
You know when you're saying that the referee decides, yeah, that is a good point. A lot of people saying they should leave it down to the referee.
Yeah,
But
because
if you leave it down to the referee, then the truth is, like, it's still out of. Basically, it means if you've still got bad referees, yeah.
Yeah, but that's how we determine who's a bad referee then. It will be even easier to get
but what
It's like having a bad umpire. It might be LBW and he's going, nah, mate, I'm not even going for it.
You lot are lucky.
No
You
chance.
lot are lucky.
Cricket reference for anyone who doesn't know.
You lot are lucky. This team
What does it
wasn't
mean?
around.
Like,
this
Before
time.
wicket, mate.
Yeah,
The man
okay,
said,
yeah.
what does LBW stand for?
Bro, you didn't know.
I'm not even a big cricket fan.
My dad's a
I just know
cricket
it from
man.
school.
My dad was a cricket man. Come on.
Get out of here, bro.
Same with rugby though, they use it, no problems. Why? Football can have it, but it just needs to be adapted for football because obviously football is like a free-flowing game. We don't want to stop.
You got to admit though, you lot have to admit though, VAR wasn't around in Fergie's time. You lot would be finished.
No, not at all. Why?
Why?
He thinks Fergie cheated his way to.
Come off it, man.
This guy. It's
Leave it
so
out,
biased.
Just because Wenger didn't move with no times and stay.
And it means Wenger definitely couldn't say I didn't see it, innit?
That's what he ever used to say. But
My man never saw it. What was he ever doing?
He never moved with no times. All times there was enough replays and social media, man still never saw nothing.
Damn straight.
But Wenger looks. Shout out to Wenger. He looks younger now. So he looks like 20 years younger. Still.
He's looking
My
fresh.
man's looking fresh now. innit?
With a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a massive weight off his shoulders, bruv,
Damn
coming out of
straight.
that club.
No more banners on his case.
But
Go do
look,
that.
okay. So VAR verdict then,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Should we keep it? Should it be kept, or is it like?
I'm still in 2 months.
Should it go?
Because I
that's it.
like the fact that man can go down to the pub or whatever or your bed.
I love the chat.
I did cross the line though, and no one's saying nothing.
So you prefer the more like the controversy then?
I like the injustice sometimes of football. That injustice.
If
that
it ain't on
happens.
you.
There's been injustice on me many a time. There's been injustice on their teams.
Because that has been a part of football. Like, you know that whole thing when you tell
That
younger
is a
players
part
when they
of
start crying, like literally you've got like underrated crying. Mate, sometimes it don't go your way.
Like, even when you pay 5
It's simple as that. It don't go your way. It's as simple as that.
There's injustice in
But
life.
I don't know, but then you look at the thing of like, when the stakes are so high,
That's the problem.
we need to
It's all
get
about
these
the money
decisions
because
right.
the P's is so mad.
And the amount of money that's going through football,
makes me sick.
when we're in 2018 with all this technology, we've got to be able to get basic things right. Like gold line technology, wicked.
and I tell you what's
Goal line, cool.
Because that's just it's over or it's not.
But if my man pulls my man's shot and no one sees it,
No,
and,
but
and it should have been a clear pen in a World Cup final.
That's a skullduggery. of
We want
football,
the
though.
right-
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
I tell,
And
I
it
tell-
has been
you know
like
what?
that
I tell you what's funny about VAR though. All it is glorified. All it is really glorified. It's just replay, instant replay.
Yeah, it's a replay.
And
Yeah,
instant
it
replay
is.
has been out since 1994.
Yeah, but it's just the fact that
like
It's just the fact that you
am I the
can't
only one
use
that's
it
like
to
VAR?
determine.
All VAR is.
right though,
Why
yeah.
are they
No,
calling
it
it
is.
video assistant referee? All it is instant replay, innit? Man was watching that in 95 and that 96.
they had replays on FIFA 95 on
Do you know what I'm
Sabre.
saying? Exactly. Like,
They did.
why is
they
it?
did have
and
replays.
you know what?
That's
do, you
the
know,
bad
do you know when I realised it was like some glorified thing? When I saw what VAR is,
when it was
it's just
watching
some little box,
Yeah,
yeah? TV. Bro, some
And the
box,
lines weren't even
some
straight.
box,
I remember that.
some Hitachi or Bush TV in that, yeah? Man, not even HD. Do you know what I'm saying? With the big back and everything. Like, come on.
I
That's
remember
a map box geese.
the game.
Sharpen that.
At the Man United game when one matter was offside against Huddersfield away with some bare squiggly lines, some spaghetti worms.
That was you lot.
Yeah. So it needs to be refined, bro.
Yeah.
Belgium, what a goal.
Belgium, what a
Wow.
goal. Who was that?
Is that Mertens?
Mertens, yeah.
I didn't see.
And then you're going to see Lukaku
Yeah,
show
banging.
that he's now world class, on the verge of world class.
He's not world class.
Oh, he's not World Cup.
He's on the verge of
Not
world
even
class.
close. Not even close.
Bro, facts.
He's got the touch of a baby Rhino.
Facts don't like. It's not about.
I don't think he's World Cup.
Have you ever seen a baby Rhino touch a ball?
No, wait, hold on.
I'm asking you, Akeem.
Hold on. Let me answer.
He's
that.
got other strengths, but that's not one of his strengths.
Let me answer that.
That
Let me
touch
answer
is
that.
Yeah.
it's irrelevant if his touch is the worst in the game because he does that. That's what's relevant.
Sorry,
That's what's relevant.
What team they playing?
Bro, it's a World Cup, bro. Why are you cussing it? It's a World Cup.
That's in the World Cup. Saudi Arabia got spanked.
Yeah, because Russia took it to them, innit?
Listen, Lukaku is a good striker. He's not world class.
No, he's not yet. But for 24 years old,
I'll be honest.
He bangs. No, okay, yeah, sorry.
I
sorry.
don't
For
think...
anyone who doesn't know, Flex is a bit like Rants.
No,
I'm not.
I'm not. I'm just saying, I don't believe he can reach the world elite level of striker. I don't think that, like, neat, tidy,
Flex,
always holding on to the ball.
Even
Even for goals. Because he got 16 league goals, bro. He plays every single game.
Bro, he scored 29 in all competitions.
No.
It's all comps, but in the Premier League, if you want to win the
counts.
Premier League,
Same
yeah,
Flex.
Harry Kane and them man there, and
Them man there finished fourth.
No, but what I'm saying is...
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You need a 20... Now, it's the goalpost.
Imagine if you had Harry Kane, you'd have won the league, you schmuck. You'd have won the league, mate.
Look, I'm not saying Lukaku's dead. He's good. He's a good player. I just don't think he's world class.
Flex, who's a better player, Lukaku or Lacazette?
No, I had loads of Man United
Bro,
fans.
if you
Now listen.
Let him talk.
Let me say this. Lacazette is a better footballer. I've seen it with my own eyes, looking after the ball, neat and tidy. But he's a better footballer. But I think Lukaku is a better striker. Now, people who don't understand football...
goals in the league?
No. Lukaku scored more. But Lacazette was out injured and all that. But listen.
Who cares?
But listen, he's got to do it in the Premier League. Lukaku's done it consistently in the Premier League. Since he went on loan to West Brom and batted it up, he's done it consistently. Until Lacazette can do that, he can't say he's better than him.
Flex.
But as a football IQ and looking after it, you know when I really changed my opinion?
He's the first best striker in the league.
Listen.
Let him talk.
I'm going to tell you one thing,
Let's talk, man.
I support Man United, and a lot of Man United fans will say, you don't support the club. This is just what I think, because I don't get the chance to give my opinion up, man. That's why I kind of like this.
All right, go on.
Yeah,
Exactly. Let him get his opinion.
I have to kind of, you know what I'm saying? I'll be honest. When I went to the Emirates, this season, and I saw Lacazette like buzzing around the place. I saw him holding off, man. And I saw Monreal like bullying Lukaku at times. I saw it and I was saying, right, he's got to hold that ball. How come he hasn't held? I'm looking at the way that Lacazette was holding onto the ball. Now, I'm not saying Lacazette is better than him in the Premier League because he's not. He has to prove that. I haven't seen it. He couldn't hit a barn door earlier on this season. But as a technical footballer, he's better than him.
Can I ask you a question?
Who cares about that?
But as a striker in the Premier League,
let me ask you a question now. Who would you rather have? Mbanyang or
Lukaku? Already answered. Lukaku already answered. And do you know why?
Flex.
Do you know why? Because
I would say Lukaku because he's younger and has done it.
Aubameyang
played got major success in the Bundesliga.
Just because Aubameyang scored a couple of goals against Burnley, man is getting gas.
I think,
He's a top striker.
His strike ratio is good.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And so's Batchy Wise. So's Batchy Wise. Yeah, you're playing in a donut league, Krispy Kreme donut league. You're playing a Krispy Kreme donut league. You've come to the Premier League. My man's banged out. I'm not
gassing. It's all about next season. If Aubameyang outscores him,
no.
But for me, Lukaku's got 20 goals plus pretty much since them West Brom days.
Not at Man United though.
Why are we talking about this?
His worst league return.
Bro, 29 goals. Can I say, if he scored 29 goals, but 25 of those was in the Premier League, and 4 of those was in our competitions, he'll get just as much criticism saying you didn't score in the Champions League, you didn't score. People would say that though. So the fact is, all that matters is your overall goal tally.
You know what I just think? Hey, do you know what I actually think? I just think for Lukaku, the input he gets, which is playing 90 minutes every game, no rotation, only like one injury when he was concussed for that thing.
Why is there no rotation at your club?
That's a whole different.
When you've got Rashers and Martial.
Listen, that's a whole different thing.
If Martial's still there.
Depends whether you want to talk about that or not. That's a whole different thing.
I'll ask you a question. You can answer it, because it's up to you, isn't it?
You're the anchor. It depends whether you.
He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's stumped.
To be honest,
he's all confused.
We don't need to talk about it.
You talk Manchester United, he's all confused. When a real Manchester United fan comes on, he's all bamboozled. Look at him.
What do you mean real?
Because you're just Manchester United through and through.
I'm not.
You are.
I criticise Man United when we're not.
Flex, let me ask Flex a question quickly. Before Jose came to your club, tell man the truth. You didn't like Jose, did you?
I did, I'll be honest.
How?
I did, I'll be honest. You know why?
How?
I thought that he's a winner, he's done it wherever he's gone.
Sorry,
and I thought...
Hold on, let me ask that question again. When Fergie was around, was you a Jose fan?
I did. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I loved his arrogance. I loved how he wound up people. I did. I've always loved Jose. I'm not going to lie. I did.
What?
I did.
Even after things he done to your club?
Mate, I just like Jose.
The same people who don't like Jose is the same people who don't like Floyd Mayweather.
I love
That's it.
I love Floyd.
It's the same
though.
thing.
He wins all the time.
Because he wins all the time. He's arrogant and he's
That's
annoying
incorrect. That's
because
incorrect.
he's so good.
That's incorrect. I
That's
love
it.
so that's the reason why you dislike Pep.
No.
Because you think
I didn't say I dislike Pep.
You think
I
Pep's a
don't
fraud?
have anything against Pep.
You said Pep's a fraud.
I said he's not the man you think he is.
Pep does need the best players to
Yeah, of
do
course he
it,
does. It's clear.
all the time.
It's clear. Why
it's
did
not
my man
like-
dye his hair as well?
So did Jose.
Who's died here?
So did
Ellie?
Jose, no?
No, that's just the son.
So did Jose.
The son, you know.
Son,
that ain't the
tits.
son.
That's tits.
That ain't the son.
Man said son, you know. How
In Russia.
Ashley Young
But,
is
okay.
left back is
Oh.
mental.
But look,
He got an assist, leave him.
Mental.
Ash,
got an assist.
Ash Young has had a top season. He's had a good season for his standards.
I don't know if he's had a top season, man.
For his standards,
I've seen
yes.
Luke Shaw.
Don't start talking about
Where's Luke Shaw?
Bro,
Look, Luke
the
Shaw-
thing is,
look,
I've
do you know what's funny?
seen
Do you know what's
Luke
funny?
Shaw have wicked
Flex,
games
Flex.
and just get bombed.
Flex, the thing
Jose
is,
just
yeah,
don't rate him.
Flex, the thing is, though,
For whatever reason.
you got to separate the talent, because don't get me twisted. Don't get me twisted. Shaw's talent is good, but his mentality, by what I've seen, is weak. My man's coming
Flex.
overweight in that.
Flex, what have you seen? What have you seen?
This is what I've seen. This is what I've seen, yeah. I've seen Jose go from saying, and this is a quote. This is a quote.
a fact.
I'm only saying a quote that I heard. I saw it with my own eyes. Not many better left backs in the world than Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Next game, don't play.
In talent he is. But no.
But he-
No,
in
Flex,
good- in
Flex,
good
what you gotta
form, though.
understand,
In
Flex,
good form.
And I get that, Flex.
He's had good
Flex,
form
but
this
one
season,
thing you
you
got to
know. He has.
appreciate, and this is for all players. This is
Yeah.
for all players, not even just Man United and Jose, yeah. Wenger as well, and even talking about Leroy Sané when it comes to Germany. All of
dumb.
these things.
Dumb, 'cause
He
now
should've-
look at him.
wait,
Should've gone.
Wait, let me think.
Should've.
No,
100%.
he should have gone from our perspective. But
Yeah.
what some people have to realize that from a professional point of view, managers will never talk about. Certain man, you don't know, Martial might be rude to Jose and not be
He's
training
not
well.
rude
No,
to
hold
Jose.
on. I'm
He
not
don't
saying-
even speak.
No, wait. I'm not saying he is. I'm just
Jose
using this
took his
example.
number 9
One
away
time-
from
no,
him.
Wait.
This is what happened.
Wait,
He took the number
wait.
9 away from him, gave it to our
Let me
agent
finish.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who stunted your actual play.
Let me finish.
That season.
Let me finish.
Who
Let me
stunted your
finish.
game of play, took the number away from him, gave it to Iba. Now Martial's sulking and crying. Now we can't even get into the team.
Well, Jose has made a lot of our men go backwards.
There.
Wait, hold on.
Paul
Flex,
Pogba is looking like
Flex,
waste.
Flex. My point is,
Flex, what do you think about Pogba? Quickly, I like Flex. Flex tells the truth. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, this is the truth section. Sponsored by Mr. Heritage. Flex, I want to ask you a question. How do you feel about Paul Pogba?
He's got the potential and the ingredients to be
is
a
he
fantastic
world
player.
class?
Not yet.
Oh my days.
Thank you.
Not
Alright,
yet.
we gotta
Not
move
yet.
on.
He needs to.
Bro,
Listen.
he's pretty much the best.
Because
Is
he
Tony Kroos
he needs to
world
prove
class?
it.
Is
Bro,
Tony
and
Kroos
this is-
world
and this is
class?
where you
Hold
need
on,
to-
hold
this is
on,
where you
hold
need to
on.
talk
Is
about
Kroos
what you
world
define
class?
as world class.
I will.
Because having the potential to be world class is different to being world class.
Here's my point.
Flex.
I don't want to drag on about this. Yeah, Flex.
Listen, I love Man United to the core. I go to every game home and away. I love Man United.
and so do I.
You know what I'm saying?
You know.
So
You
it's
know.
not
But
just
you love
me
him
trying
too
to-
much.
No, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
He's the second best midfielder in the league. That's it. It's simple as that.
After De Bruyne, then.
Yeah, simple. It's very simple.
But
He's
do
the
you know
best.
what it is, though?
Tell me
you
someone
can't
who's
just
better
say
than
it. He
him.
has to prove it.
What? No, he's not.
But Silva's done more than him this season.
No, he is, but he has. But
Do you see what I'm saying?
So has Salah more than Messi.
What about
or
Ramsey?
thing
What about Ramsey?
This season.
What
That
about
doesn't mean
Ramsey?
he's better than him.
What about Ramsey?
But the fact is, God, bro.
What?
Ramsey.
Dead.
All right.
Come on,
Anyway,
Yankees
let's
jag.
move on.
Ramsey's dead.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Yeah. Right. Let's move on.
Yeah,
we don't
bro,
need to talk about Man United.
Yeah, innit? I thought
don't
this
need
was
to-
about all the work.
That's their
You know what
truth
I'm
section.
saying?
The truth
Yeah.
section is over.
So the only thing I wanted to round up about, because we don't need to talk about Man United, is to round up. The last thing I want to ask you guys is the World Cup so far. Going back to the World Cup, what are your thoughts on it in terms of, do you think it's been, obviously the first round of games are just finishing now. Do you think it's been a good World Cup because of a lot of shocks? You think some people said it's
been
not
open.
good.
It's
Some
been
people said it's
nice.
not a good quality World Cup because
Nah, man.
there's no outstanding teams that seem to be outshining.
Because the big teams ain't showed up yet after one game. Like, come on, man, it's one game. There's been a couple of one shock, really, a shock, which is the Argentina lost, didn't it?
No, they drew.
Sorry, Germany lost. You might say
Mexico.
to Mexico. The other one was a draw.
Mexico smashed it. They
Brazil
smashed
got a draw. It's like
France scraped to win.
France scraped to win.
Spain and Portugal.
And that was
drew.
just a wicked shootout. Like, it could have ended anyway. Ronaldo done bits. So I
which-
just think it's one game. You can't get carried away by saying the big teams they haven't showed up in the first game.
Yeah.
But there are only 7 though. That's the
Yeah,
that's
but still, there's still 2 more group games to go, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I'm just like, just
When the
hold on a
knockout
bit.
stages come, it'll get
Yeah,
saucy.
exactly.
So
but
who-
I like the fact it's been open and these little the minnows, as you want to call it,
Yeah.
have been doing bits and showing that anyone can score against anyone from nothing.
Apart
I
from-
like that.
Apart from Saudi Arabia.
One team.
They got leaned on.
One team that hasn't impressed.
I think Putin has something.
Is
what about Nigeria?
Nigeria? Yeah, poor.
Just all the hype about the kit, all the hype about the sauce.
Too much kit, too much eba.
Yeah.
Too much.
What's eba?
Yeah, what is that?
It's like you never had it. It's like soft. It's like mashed potato, basically.
Okay.
And you use your hands.
What is that thing? I see that. What is that?
Eba.
And they have it in their hand.
And moi moi. Have you had a moi moi?
Nah.
So what?
I'm Jamaican.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm ignorant. I don't know.
Why don't you go to a Nigerian restaurant?
I've had jollof rice
Go to a
before.
Nigerian restaurant.
That's it. I've had jollof.
Hold on.
I didn't like the jollof. It was too tomatoey. It was too tomatoey.
I'm asking you a question.
I didn't like it.
That thing, that what's it called?
It's moi moi, semolina.
It could be
Semolina. That's what I used to have in school dinners.
I'm talking about that thing in their hand.
Semolina.
What?
What's that thing they had in their hand that you said about?
Eba.
The mash. Yeah, eba thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you telling me that they put juice and sauce in that?
What do you mean juice and sauce? No, there's a stew next to it.
Yeah.
And then you grab the
Like bread.
the eba
Like bread.
in your hand, and then you put the stew in and you eat it like
And
that.
the consistency
Like
is
bread,
of mashed
basically.
potato. The
It's
consistency
kind
of
of
it.
it's like soft and.
It looks like doughy bread.
Hold on, producer, you've had a bit of Nigeria. How you man got to this?
All I've had is jollof. That's all I've tried.
A man's Greek Jamaican.
Man's tried Greek food. Man gone Greek food. Like,
Yeah, I'll be honest.
I'm half Jamaican.
I had an African dish. I had an African
apparently,
dish.
yeah. I forget.
I had an African dish. I'll be honest. And the worst thing is I actually asked the lady because I want to try African food. I want something as close to curry go as you can. I didn't really open up
Look at
my
this guy.
yeah. That was poor from
guy.
me. I need to because I do like trying different foods. But I had a bad experience with that. It was very oily and it was just.
where did you go?
It was one place in Luton, yeah, African place. I don't know whether it was Guyanese or Niger. I don't know. It was just to me, it was just African. And I said, I haven't had African food before. I want to try this. I want to try something that's similar. She goes, what do you like? I goes, well, I love curry goat. I love mutton. So can I have something similar to that? Which I should have really asked for. I should have said, give me the most African. Or yeah, exactly.
Guys,
but it was
please.
very oily.
Guys, please.
But big up to that. I want to try.
Get these guys. School these guys on some Nigerian.
I had some turkey thing that was deep fried.
Turkey?
Yeah, I don't know if that was Ghanaian though.
Probably Ghanaian.
Okay. Do they taste loads? Do they
Must
taste
be Ghanaian. Shout out to Jermaine.
Big
And the Ghanaians listen.
Let me know what that
Does
is.
the
innit?
food taste mad different from like Ghana to Nigeria to somewhere like Senegal
yeah,
or
it's-
wherever?
it's
Does it taste
Just better.
because like the Trinis and that might taste different to Jamaica? might taste like
Trini's the
Bajans.
ultimate though. Trini's the ultimate.
Bro, why have you tried?
Small island, then.
Hold on, why have you tried?
Trinidad.
Why have you
Small
tried
island,
Trini food?
I'm
Wait,
Jamaican,
hold on.
but Trinidad.
Hold
Let's go for their rotis,
Hold
man.
on,
Other than
roti,
that, bro.
come on, that's
That's
what
what I'm
I'm
saying.
saying.
They're
Hold
good for
on.
their roti. But when it
Roti
comes to hard food and
with your
proper
curry, with
ackee
your
and
curry
saltfish or jerk chicken and that, straight Jamaican.
Hold on, can I just ask
But
you
this
one?
show's not even about football no more.
I know, but can I
What
just
is
ask you, man, one question before we have to go quickly? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you go? Please, this
Yeah.
week, please. It's not
Yeah.
even a thing. It's a question.
Yeah.
This week, go to a Nigerian restaurant.
I'm gonna leave here.
I've
I'm gonna
been.
leave here and go. I need to
I've
eat.
been. I wasn't a fan, if I'm honest.
You didn't have anything.
I did. I had
What did you have?
a couple of things, but it was like
I thought you said a cup of tea.
Man kept
I thought you said a cup of
I just have
tea.
a cup of tea.
I thought-
like the jello on the beef.
Oh,
that-
Pickford, what are you
that's
doing?
amazing, isn't it?
Oh, he's offside. Sorry.
Yeah, the jello and all that and the thing. That's all amazing, isn't it? But all the other intricate dishes for me is too
feel
Bro,
it.
bro. Look, anyway, long story.
it's got a certain it's like musk.
Yeah.
Like it's very
Now you're
strong. It's strong.
It's strong.
I don't know what to say. Look, long story short, just to finalise quickly.
And this is not disrespect to any.
No, it's
I'm
not.
saying.
Look at that disclaimer. Look at Flex's
No,
disclaimer.
I'm just saying because you know you're gonna get. He's man.
This is why he's so loved, isn't it?
I love
I'm just saying. That's my experience of what I've had.
Unfortunately, I'll just be blunt. Nigerian food's better than Ghanaian food. Simple.
Is
All right,
that
cool.
fact though? Actually, true say.
I think so, but anyway.
I was with a girl, lovely girl, and she cooked me some Nigerian food.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that was banging.
At the time.
Wait, hold on. You had a Nigerian.
No, lovely girl.
Hold on.
Nigerian.
Hold on. You had a Nigerian girlfriend. You didn't have any Nigerian food.
No. She cooked me some things still. Actually, I forgot about that. She done me some yam and some chicken stew. Thing was banging.
Anyway, look. Brother. Anyway, look. Long story short, there's no outstanding team so far in the World Cup.
There isn't.
We're gonna see what happens.
After one game.
Final question.
We need to know what these footballers
Final
are eating.
one-word
That's what
question.
we should
Final
do.
one-word question. Then we gotta go. Yeah. Who's winning the World Cup?
England.
All right.
Come on, England.
Bro, right now we're joined to Tunisia, bro.
Don't matter, mate.
Who? Who's winning it?
Brazil.
All right, cool.
But Brazil look.
And I'm gonna go.
So
I'm gonna
disappointing.
stick.
Look at Germany. They look like they defended with 10 men.
I'm gonna stick with Argentina.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna go with?
Argentina.
Yeah,
I'm with Argentina for real.
That was
I
a
just think,
surprise package.
you know what annoys me about Argentina? Why don't they just play 4-2-4 in it?
They need to find a
They just
system,
need to throw.
yeah.
How can Higuain not be in the team? Do you know what I'm saying?
Dybala not even getting a look. But
It's a joke. You need to play 4-2-4.
I'm changing my team, Mexico.
Joker.
Mexico's
All right,
impressive.
cool. Guys, thank you so much for listening and listening about, obviously, outside of the World Cup. We're still talking about Man United, Arsenal, and even Jollof Rice and Ebba. Yeah, because that's what we do out
I'm gonna
here.
go try it right
out
now.
Here. These man are going right now to get some agoosey soup or some...
Oh,
what,
I saw them trying a goosey soup.
yeah?
goosey soup?
Or some okra. Some okra
Oh, I hate
soup.
okra. It's all slime. No. Hate okra.
We're cutting him off now. Crop him. We need to crop this bad boy now. Anyway, look, you're here, obviously, with CheekySport Akeem.
Camel Chris, aka Mr. Heritage.
Flex United stand.
And obviously, make sure you catch us and check us out on all the socials. Make sure you follow Rinse on Rinstagram and all of that. And obviously, CheekySport at everything. Yeah?
Tell 'em.
See you next week.
Jip,
you know.
I'm gonna put World Cup song, yeah?
Just put...
No, all I know is it's Will Smith.
Man said Jip.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's called Live It Up with Nicky Jam featuring
Man,
Will
I don't
Smith.
care who's in it. Just press play.
2018 FIFA World Cup song. It's got 14 million views.
Mate, who reads the whole, who reads the whole
don't know who's
title?
been
Bro,
listening to
I'm
that.
introducing it to the people, fam. These men are getting a plug.
And this one, we got to go in for the next one.
Coming in for the next. So